stand up and back or what? Not a young lady stand. All rise for pledge.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll let everybody get comfortable. Everybody got seats? Want seats? Oops, Jack, my glasses. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. We'll call order the town board meeting for town of Windsor for November 7th, 2018. Tonight we will open with a public hearing on the proposed 2019 budget. Doesn't like it already. All right, Jack, you want to open?
Sure. Up in front there are two handouts for anyone who doesn't or would like the information on the 2019 budget. There's also a posting of it on the town website, and after this budget is approved, it will be up on the website in 2 days.
Speak a little louder.
Oh, really? Okay. Anyway, up in the front, there's a couple of handouts that has information on the 2019 budget. So if you're interested, you can come on up and grab it if you already haven't. We're just gonna kind of go over that for you. All right, so the town is compliant with the state's 2019 tax cap of 2%. It has been for 8 years since it was implemented back in 2012. The top sheet of the handout summarizes the property tax levies of the town's funds, as well as the individual property tax rates and changes from 2018 to 2019. For a typical single-family home assessed at about $40,000, there will be an overall increase of $47.23 on an annual basis. That's a 2.5% increase on the levy. There's no change in the quarterly sewer rate of $16.40 or $164 annually. That's for the third consecutive year. The water rate will decrease by approximately 2.2% to $8.69 per 1,000 gallons of usage. The debt service, which I guess for comparison purposes would be like your mortgage payment, your car payment, or other installment debt. For our sewer facilities will decrease by approximately 2.4%. Water facilities will increase by about 3.9%, and that's primarily a result of issuance of a $10 million bond last year for the Butterhill Wells. The town's total tax levy, that's the dollars that are collected for the general fund, highway fund, et cetera, increased by approximately $378,000 to a total of $15.5 million. That's about a 40% of the total amount that we have to collect to operate the town, which is $38.7 million. The remainder, 60%, is collected from non-tax levies, that's sales tax, mortgage tax, utility billings, etc. The town's total aggregate.
This will
Still? Okay. The town, you don't want me to start over, right?
No. Absolutely not.
The town's aggregate expenditure budget increased by 5.7% to $38.7 million. The town's labor intensive. Approximately 54% of our expenditures is for wages and for benefits. 33% is for contractual expenditures. And the largest costs are for the operating the water and sewer plant facilities, purchasing water, maintenance, repairs, insurance, etc. The remaining 10% is really for collecting debt service, payment on our long-term debt, some routine annual construction that we carry through the O&M budget rather than through our capital budget. The town uses its reserves as appropriate for each fund to balance out the expenditures to revenues, to mitigate the impact of taxes for everyone. In 2019, we'll use about $1.1 million of our reserves spread over the individual funds. So that's it in a nutshell. And then we also give you, behind that top sheet is just an example. Our two largest funds, of course, as you would be our general and highway fund. The other funds are much smaller. The general fund has a 0% increase. The highway fund has about a 0.1% increase. So the overall increase for our two largest funds, the general fund and the highway fund, is 0. Flip over to the next page, then we just kind of put it into a little format that everyone can kind of understand for your typical tax bill, with the house assessed at about $40,000, and that's just about, approximates a market value of about $238. So if your house is assessed for more or less, you can sort of adjust. The tax rate in the general fund is going to be $20.24 per $1,000 of assessed valuation. You just multiply that by whatever's on your tax bill. Highway is about $9.52. Ambulance is $1.25. Garbage is $13.80. That fund did go up. We did hire an additional sanitation worker, or have plans to hire an additional sanitation worker in the garbage next year. And it also reflects that we've reallocated retiree medical expenses. They were all before accumulated in the general fund, but as our labor force is also somewhat mature, and as people retire, it's time to spread it out to the appropriate fund, be it water, be it highway. Oh, no more water anyway. The average rate for our various sewer districts, that's the tax you'll see by district when you get your tax bill, is about 80%. No one has 80 cents per thousand, because this is just a weighted average. So you're going to be either higher than that, lower than that, but it gives you an idea. It's about 80 cents per thousand. Oh, I'm sorry, that's based on points. And everybody has about 10 points per residences. Our average rate for the water districts for the debt is about $3.47. Again, nobody has that rate. You're either going to be higher or lower. And a couple pages later, we give it by your district. Then on the bottom of it just kind of breaks down that $47 increase. That's that. The next page is just a summary of the user charges, and that's just what I already said. Water's going down to $8.69 per 1,000 gallons. Almost all residents have, by the cubic feet, it's, who knows when they flush the toilet how much water they're using. So that's $6.50 per 100 cubic feet. That's what your meter reads. But to put it in, other sense, it's $8.69 per 1,000 gallons. Sewer charge that remains at $16.40. It'll cost about $164 a year. Beaver Dam garbage, they have a special rate out there. They're going to increase by about 9%. That'll put them close to what everyone else pays in the town. Next page, some people are interested. Anyway, that's just our tax history. We haven't increased it, haven't exceeded it since 2012. And this year we actually have about $148,000 carryover, so we're below the maximum amount that we can, of the tax cap, 2%, we're below by $148,000. The next couple pages, explaining what sewer district is, you would insert that where I had over there your various water district and sewer debts. There's your rates depending on what district you're in, if you know what district you're in. And then the same thing with the water district, same thing. That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, Jack, thank you. This over, or you can your meeting. Jack and Maureen worked very hard on this budget, and I thank them both. And then the three of us, what we do every year, sat down and cut it again. So if there's any questions, now's the time. Any questions on the budget?
Yeah, how do you reduce it?
Any questions?
Any reductions available?
Any what? I can't hear you.
Reduction.
Reductions.
That would help.
I'm not sure what you mean by reductions. Yeah? Fran?
Yes, you did a very good job, but I'm confused about the things you said. In dollars and cents, how do I figure out what my assessment will be, what my raise will be? How do we figure that? Now, are
You
you going to vote on
multiply-
that tonight? Is it already done, or what?
The budget?
Yeah.
Now, Fran, you've been at budget hearings before, you know tonight's it. We vote on the budget tonight and it's done.
Okay, so, again, how will I know what I'm obligated to pay the town? How do I
You
figure
take the tax rate, what,
Well, you know you're going to get a tax bill from the
Yes.
county? Okay, and on that tax bill is gonna be the assessed value of your home,
Yeah,
and that's what we're using here, and then you will multiply the different rates, like the general fund rate, you're gonna see a line there on your tax bill for the, I think for general fund, I think you'll see it for highway. You can multiply whatever your assessed value is by those numbers, and that should equal your tax bill.
well, let's just give a figure.
I don't know what the figure is.
$5,000 is the assessed rate, or $30,000. Just a rough estimated figure.
I don't calculate it by
go,
five.
go back to, go back to the $40,000 example.
We got a $40,000 one, right? An example, you wanna look at it? No? Okay. Anyway, the general fund at a tax rate of $20.24, multiply that by whatever your assessed value is. In this case, it's $40,000. You're gonna get $809.59. You're gonna see that. When it comes to the highway, same thing.
800, I'm sorry, 800 and what?
$9.
Would be my assessment?
No, Fran, hold on. Let me see if I can explain this to you, Fran.
Thank you.
You're in a sewer district, you're in a water district, you're in a garbage district, you're in a, you, like everybody, you have the highway and the general fund tax, right? Add those three taxes together, multiply it by whatever your assessed value is of your house. It'll be on that, you divide that by 1,000, it's in thousands, divide that by 1,000 and multiply that by the tax rate. Very simple. You know, it's simple math. I mean, it's not, there's really nothing to figure it out.
I guess everybody's okay with it, so I'll go along with the majority.
Sir,
I can't read it. first.
On one of the documents, it indicated that the ambulance corps gets $500,000. Could you tell me how, I understand this is a contract, and is there some way we can find out how this money is actually being spent?
no. They're a private organization. We supplement their budget to $500,000, and for that you get one of the best ambulance corps services in the state.
But there's no overview in terms of how they spend this money?
Yeah, they give me a report.
They gave you one report. Is there a way that we could receive a copy of this report?
Sure, foil it.
Excuse me?
You can foil that report anytime.
How do you request it?
Once they give it to me, it becomes public information.
How detailed is it? Is it itemized?
No. Not, well, it's semi-itemized. But what, I don't, you know,
Well,
I don't
the
understand.
problem is that we're giving a bunch of money away to a private contractor who also bills the insurance company for their services.
So
And
that's
with
a
this in
wonderful thing.
mind, and with this in mind, since it's coming from our tax dollars, is it not appropriate that we have some detailing as to how this money is spent
They could,
and whether it is justified to spend it?
yeah, you're right. Thank you. Anyone else?
Well, you didn't answer.
Pardon? Yeah, I answered him. We get a bill, we work a contract out every year, just like we've done for 30 years, whatever, with the ambulance corps. They get a supplement to their budget.
But we have no way of knowing where our money is going.
Of course you do.
No, we don't.
You don't?
We don't.
It's
get
going to
those.
the ambulance corps. It's going to one of the best ambulance corps in the state.
Yeah, but you need to provide where it's dispersed.
I can't hear you.
You need to provide where it's just how it's dispersed.
I have no idea what she said.
How it's dispersed.
You need to provide where is this, where it is dispersed to.
No, it is by contract, just like any other contract. We work out we negotiate the annual contract with them, just like anything else. They get paid like any other private contractor.
But a private contractor, wouldn't they then provide you a detail as to what they are providing? If you build a building, aren't you getting some indication of what is going into that building?
You know what?
I'm just asking some accountability, that's all I'm asking for.
The ambulance corps accounts,
And the
more than
ambulance
the
corps
town. Why
hasn't
would
been
Mike
there
was
for
here?
30 years. There was another organization that also was involved under your predecessor.
They've been there since
Yeah.
1957.
There sure was.
Then if that's the case, is there a way we can find out where our money's going?
Little money?
But that's not detailed. That's what they want to give. That's not an audit.
All right, I'm gonna put an end to this. Gene?
I'm a member of the New Windsor Ambulance Corps since 1975. And we used to stand,
Gene was one of the senior members, and she was one of the organizers.
stand out at the five corners with cans, in our cans, begging for money. Okay? We had 8 radios that we had to change every shift. We were 100% volunteer. Now, with the advent of paramedics, with the growth of the town, we needed more funding. We had volunteers who always are learning new methods to help save people in the community. They're not getting paid. The people that get paid are the paramedics. And you call our phone number, and you get people here if you need them. Right away. We keep people at the ambulance building 24 hours a day. We have 2 crews. These members give up their time with their families, continually train.
Gene?
We can't.
I wasn't arguing against the
No,
ambulance.
I know you were.
Gene, thank you.
There's no way of lowering the cost.
I wasn't saying that. I'm
There's no
saying.
way.
No, well, you,
Is it possible for me
Yes, you
to
can.
see where the money is
Yes,
spent?
you can.
Item by item.
Okay.
item by item, no, and I'm only gonna tell you this one more time. It's a contract like any other contract, and we have, Gene, thank you. Gene is one of the senior members, Gene, I think you probably are right now, the senior member of the Corps. She is devoted, I spent time on the street as a cop with Gene. She's fine. I mean, we have the best paramedics. If you would pay attention to what goes on with the ambulance corps, and you come in here and hear people that have come up to this, up in front of this audience and told us about how the ambulance corps saved their lives, and they're only here because of our ambulance corps, you wouldn't be asking these silly questions.
I would be asking them on any item that
Yeah,
deals
all right.
with accountability.
All right, thank you very much. The answer is, there's a contract, Just like any other contract with the ambulance corps, you should be very thankful that you have the finest corps in the state. You should be very thankful that you have people like Jean Antonelli sitting behind you that saved hundreds of lives. I've been on the street with her and seen what she's put up with and seen what she's done. Anyone else? Anyone else? I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing on the budget.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morrow?
Yes.
Councilman Riverbones?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilman Malarkey? Yes. Supervisor Green?
Yes. Yep. Gene, again, thank you. Chair will entertain a motion, the town board of town of New Windsor adopt as follows. Whereas the town board of town of New Windsor met on November 7th, 2018, to specify the notice of public hearing on the preliminary budget and heard all persons interested in the same. And now therefore be it resolved, the town board does hereby adopt the budget as the annual budget of the town of New Windsor for the fiscal year beginning the first day of January 2019. In said budget as so adopted be entered in detail in the minutes of this meeting as hereto attached, marked number 1, and we have further resolved that the town clerk of the town of New Windsor shall certify and triplicate copies of said budget as adopted pursuant to section 202 subdivision 2 of town law, and shall file 1 certified copy in her office, and transmit 2 certified copies to the town supervisor, present said budget to the Orange County Legislature. Further, that the town clerk be authorized to advertise same as required by law.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morrow?
Yes.
Councilman Riverbones?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilman Malarkey? Yes. Supervisor Green?
Yes. Jeff, thank you. Jack's got a run.
Thank you, Jack.
Take care.
Jack, good job, thank you. All right, we'll now point out, does anybody have public comment on any other item on the agenda?
Yes.
Okay, hearing none.
How do you receive this contract? You said something before. Is there a telephone?
This
number?
is it on the agenda?
I don't know. Is it?
Well, no, it's not on the agenda. So if it's not, you're gonna have to wait until public forum.
I have to what?
Public forum. This is just for items on the contract, on the agenda. I'm sorry. Chair will entertain a motion, town board of town of Windsor approve the minutes of the public hearing regarding proposed local law to override tax levy limit in the minutes of the town board meeting held on October 3rd, 2018, as per copies posted on the town clerk's bulletin board in the town hall and same distributed to each of the town board members.
Second.
Councilman Morrow?
Yes.
Councilman Riverbones?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilman Malarkey? Yes. Supervisor Green?
Yes. Okay, before these guys come up, I'm going to read all 3 motions. Chair will entertain a motion, town board of town of New Windsor appoint Paul M. Kronk, Sergeant for town of New Windsor Police Department, effective November 12th, 2018. Roll call.
Move. Second.
Roll
Councilman Morrow?
Yes.
Councilman Riverbones?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilwoman Malarkey? Yes. Supervisor Green?
call. Yes.
That was it.
Geez, Paul, I was kind of wondering whether they were going to make that motion. Chair will entertain a motion, town board of town of New Windsor appoint Matthew C. Monahan, Sergeant for the town of New Windsor Police Department, effective November 12th, 2018.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morrow?
Yes.
Councilman Riverbones?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilman Malarkey? Yes. Supervisor Green?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, town board of town of New Windsor appoint Francis A. Pieri, detective for the town of New Windsor Police Department, effective November 12th, 2018.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morrow?
Yes.
Councilor Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilman Malarkey?
Yes.
Supervisor Green?
Yes. Gentlemen, front and center. No shade November, in case anybody's wondering. And it's done to raise funds. And who are you raising funds for?
The Cancer Center and Orange Regional Medical Center and St. Jude's
Yeah, very
Children's
good.
Hospital.
Good. That's why they look like a bunch of hobos.
Chief, are you ready for me or?
I'm ready.
If you would, please, all raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Michael Ryan,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution
to support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New York,
of the State of New York,
and to faithfully discharge
and to faithfully discharge
my duties of a state employee
my duties of sergeant
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Sarah, we're gonna sign the oath for your family would like to take a photo.
Do we have some fine police department or what?
All right.
You people that aren't here all the time should know just what a great workforce we have. Not only our police department, but our highway department, water department, sewer department, all our employees. We are blessed to have a staff in this town that could stand up to anyone, anywhere. There they are.
Good job.
Okay, I'll give everybody a little time to bail on out. I know most of these don't want to sit through this boring meeting. Chair will entertain a motion. Authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement with the Gully Housing and SEPC to construct modifications and upgrades to wastewater treatment plant.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Malone?
Yes.
Councilor Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilman Malarkey?
Yes.
Supervisor Green?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion. Town Board of Town of Windsor hereby authorize the adoption of a bond resolution for preliminary and incidental costs and very preliminary plans and specifications not to exceed $1,500,000 for improvements to the sewer treatment plant in accordance with the bond resolution attached here to.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morale?
Yes.
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilman Malarkey?
Yes.
Supervisor Green?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion introducing a proposed local law and calling a public hearing for the adoption of a money mortgage, purchase money mortgages.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morale?
Yes.
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilman Malarkey?
Yes.
Supervisor Green?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion to Town Board of Town of Windsor call a public hearing and authorize the town clerk to advertise for the proposed repeal and rescinding of local law number 4 of 2018 to override the tax levy limits, New York State General Municipal Law 3-C.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Morale?
Yes.
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilman Malarkey?
Yes.
Supervisor Green?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion the Town Board of Town of Windsor reject All bids for St. Joseph's Place Drainage Improvements Phase 2, CDBG fiscal year 2018.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilman Malarkey?
Yes.
Supervisor Green?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town Windsor authorize the supervisor to execute wildlife, nuisance wildlife control for New Windsor landfill.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilman Malarkey?
Yes.
Supervisor Green?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board authorize the levying of unpaid sewer, water, and garbage charges.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilman Malarkey?
Yes.
Supervisor Green?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board of Town of Windsor authorize the levying of unpaid fire inspection charges.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilman Malarkey?
Yes.
Supervisor Green?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, the Town Board of the Town of Windsor adopt the following resolution, whereas the Town of Windsor requires certain engineering work to be performed, namely general engineering services outlined in the proposal from McGoey Hauser Nessel Consulting Engineers, PC, dated October 31st, 2018. Planning Board engineering services as outlined in the proposal from McGoey Hauser Nessel Consulting Engineers, PC, dated October 31st, 2018. Be resolved that the engineering firm of McGoey Hauser Nessel Consulting Engineers, PC, actually it's DPC, but 33 Airport Center Drive, 202 New Windsor, New York, Suite 202 New Windsor, New York, be retained as engineers for the town for the year of 2019 and to be compensated according to the proposal dated October 31st, 2018, and attached standard schedule of fees submitted by consulting engineers.
Move.
Second.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilman Malarkey?
Yes.
Supervisor Green?
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion to declare a negative declaration and re-adopt amendment to Chapter 300 zoning of the Town Code of the Town of New Windsor.
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Monroe?
Yes.
Councilman Regenbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilman Malarkey?
Yes.
Supervisor Green?
Yes, hearing no objections, Town Board of Town of Windsor receive and file intermunicipal agreement with Washingtonville Central School District. Hearing no objections, Town Board of Town of Windsor receive and file utility and access easement agreement. New Windsor International Partners LLC, the Town of Windsor. Hearing no objections, Town Board of Town of Windsor receive and file summons and complaint. Excuse me. Lord, Paulin versus the Town of New Windsor Police Department et al. Hearing no objections, Town Board of Town of New Windsor receive and file amendment to agreement between the Town of New Windsor and TBE Montgomery LLC dated August 31st, 2018 for solid waste processing and disposal. Hearing no objections, the Town Board of Town of New Windsor receive and file notice of improper practice charge and stipulation of settlement. Hearing no objections, the Town Board of Town of New Windsor receive and file with the Town Clerk a letter of resignation from Colin Schmidt, Executive Assistant to the Supervisor, effective November 7th, 2018. Okay. Official reports. We don't have any official reports?
You're there.
Good. How did I miss them? Oh. My fault. The following reports were received, recorded, and filed with the town clerk. The town clerk's report, October 18th, 2018, October 2018. Tax receivers, water, sewer, and garbage, October 2018. Justice Myers' report, October 2018. Justice Calderon's report for October 2018. Police Department's report for September 2018. Police Department report for October 2018, and the Recreation Department report for October 2018. Board?
Nothing?
Nothing. Public forum? Yes.
Just a couple of things, George. First of all, I'd like to thank the police department on the great job they did on Halloween in Flutter Hill. It was,
That's always a
I've never
challenge.
seen so many people and kids on all my born day. We had over 1,000, and then plus the parking lot across the street was completely packed. And the way the police kept everything in order, they put lights going down the street, tremendous job, you know, and kept everything in order. When curfew came around there, everybody left. There was hardly anything on the streets that the kids, you know, the papers and stuff like that they might throw. But kudos to that police department. They did a tremendous job. And
But that's a challenge. Believe me,
that is, if you ever went down there, it was unreal. It was unreal. And,
Well, to give you an idea, I'm still eating Reese's peanut butter cups because they were rolled out at your house.
I was gonna bring more up here. But you know, thanks to the police department, did a great job. Did a great job. Just one other thing, you know, sort of like got in my craw a little bit about the ambulance corps. I use the ambulance corps, and I think my life is worth more than $500,000 that you're giving them, and I'm sure yours is and everybody else's. And so that $500,000 is a drop in the bucket, and so.
Listen, you and I both can appreciate the ambulance corps.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, been there, done that.
If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't even be around.
You're here.
I wouldn't be around there, so my life is worth more.
We have the absolute finest ambulance corps there is. Everybody, actually, our emergency services in the town of Windsor, you know, people don't realize how lucky they are to have our emergency services. Our police departments, our fire departments are top notch, and our ambulance corps is the finest there is. And, you know,
I think all our departments in this town.
well,
I mean,
you know, we have the,
even with the budget, you know, if you want a good community, you're gonna have to pay a little bit on the community that you're gonna have.
absolutely.
You know, so I don't wanna live in a garbage town,
Mhm.
you know, so, no offense.
You know, our workforce, you know, and I say it all the time. And, you know, when we're in the contract negotiation, actually, I think we've settled up to the contract negotiations with both unions.
Yeah.
But, you know, we are so fortunate. You know, our employees are our biggest asset. And you've heard me say this for years and years and years. You know, I'm proud of them. These guys that are sitting in here,
Yeah.
they're the finest that
I
you
agree.
can have. You know, they work hard, they do a good job for us, and I am very proud of them all. Gene was first.
Just a comment. I see that we've been having a few new police officers.
Yes.
How many do we have
Great.
altogether? And are you planning on hiring more?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
All right. But how many police officers do we have?
Right now, we have 43?
44.
44.
Okay, and there's a need for more?
Uh,
I mean, I don't know.
there surely is, Gene.
Yeah.
You know what?
Well, I do notice in the police blotter that a lot of the people that are stopped by the police has been a lot in New Windsor. I'm not saying that there's more crime or anything, but the number of people stopped and may be arrested has greatly increased. It's like a whole page. So I'm just making a comment.
Yep.
And on the ambulance corps, just one comment. The town gives us that money. But we have $1 million business.
Mhm.
We bill the insurance companies. And we had to do that because years ago, when the community was small, we would get donations every time the Christmas Club came out. We might get 10,000. And we had to kind of like beg, borrow. Okay, so it's more than 500,000. Imagine what your taxes would be if we had
Oh, it's
built
incredible.
more.
It's incredible what the ambulance corps saves us by billing direct. And, you know, and again, you can't put a value on a human life. It is so, so important that we have the ambulance corps that we have. Mary was next.
I wanted to add to that. I would also like to give thanks and praise to our highways and
Yes.
garbage people. And you have a wonderful supervisor. Thanks so much.
There was a hand up behind you, Mike, first. Ma'am? No? Oh, was it Mike? Oh, Mike, go ahead.
All right, I'm Michael Bates, Chief of the Ambulance Corps. I just wanted to address some concerns about our budget. When we reopened, when George Green worked with us to open the ambulance corps, we did about 1,400 calls a year. We're going to do 4,000 calls this year with 85 personnel members, 30 of which are paid paramedics. A heart monitor costs $35,000. An ambulance costs $175,000. This year, we increased the ambulance numbers from 4 to 5 ambulances this year because of the call volume. Today, New Windsor Ambulance did 11 calls in 27 minutes. And every call was covered by the New Windsor Ambulance Corps. EMS in this region is falling apart. Our ambulances haven't responded to Modena, Clatterkill, Wappingers, Highland Falls, Woodbury, because those towns don't have ambulances. So I shared with Debbie last night. I've been a paramedic for a long time, 9 years. But I was walking around the station last night, and this little kid comes up and runs up and jumps on me. And 6 months ago, he was in New Windsor, and his family lives in New Windsor. We get a call for vomiting. We go to the house, the child's not breathing, has no pulse, and he's having a massive brain aneurysm, actually 3 brain aneurysms. 3 paramedics responded within 2 minutes. Multiple New Windsor PD officers responded. Most cops, when they got ambulance here, I'm out of here. Not our New Windsor cops. They jumped in the ambulance. Where are we going? We got to drive. Dispatch is on the phone calling for a helicopter to meet us at the hospital, telling the hospital what's going on with this child. This child had 2 or 3 brain aneurysms and was not breathing and had no pulse. Because of the medications that only our ambulance corps carries, we're able to paralyze his muscles, intubate him, put medications through his bone marrow, and he made a full recovery. The child ran to yesterday, first time I ever cried as a paramedic because this child is 3 years old. He ran to jump them, he gave me a bracelet, and called us up here. That's why we live in this town. Not over the ambulance corps getting an extra $100,000 a year. It's $100,000, which is 14%. Let's look at the real number. It's $100,000. And what's that going to do? We're adding a 5th ambulance. We're going to be having better coverage now by adding a 2nd paramedic on the night shift. So people that don't have heart attacks on the schedule. Sometimes we have 3 or 4 at the same time. But remember, in this community, our cops will drive the ambulance for us. Our fire department will do the same thing. I'm sure I could call George or Debbie and they'll come down and drive an ambulance. But our paramedics are the highest sleep trained ones in the region. We have the CPR machines. Nobody else has these machines that do CPR that we have. And they had the highest CPR survival rate in the entire state last year. Only 2 agencies out of 700 last year were selected by the American Heart Association for having such amazing patient care for cardiac patients, and it was us and Columbia Presbyterian Hospital in New York City, which has a $135 million budget. So I appreciate people concerned with the tax monies are being spent, but I can tell you that my family lives in Portmore, we call them Windsor ambulance. And yes, people say, well, ambulance still says volunteer on the side of it. A lot of the police officers that became police officers started as volunteers for us. A lot of people, one of our EMTs who was a volunteer, is graduating medical school this year. A lot of our members who have trouble at home and not doing their homework become volunteers and we yell at them to do your homework, one of our animals. That happened to me. Jeannie was my preceptor. And she'd be like, is your homework done? You're not riding the animal, say, this isn't done. So, it's a community organization, but we save lives, and the relationship with us, the PD, and every town department's amazing. So, I understand we don't wanna waste money. We don't waste money. We are audited by a county firm every single year. For a 501c3, we fill our charity through our applications out. The town gets a copy of our audit every single year, and it's done the right way. So I really appreciate everyone's concerns. If anybody has a question with the ambulance board, I'm there 80 hours a week. Call me, sheep@newindsreams.com, go to our website, call me. Can't get a hold of me, talk to the police chief, call George's office, call Debbie. I text these guys all the time. But you can't put a price on a life. And I'm just so proud of that child yesterday. We'll have a family now and interact with people. It might be a town cop, his dad is a New York City cop. So I think that's the time. If anybody has a concern with the ambulance board, please tell me. I could go tow cars to my father and have a good night's sleep. I mean, I don't mean to do this, but I love what I do. Our guys love what we do. And right now, while I was sitting here, there's 3 calls at the same exact time. Our staff is down at the ambulance court now doing a pre-check for a state inspection on Friday. So, and they all took the call and left right now. So, I appreciate everyone's concern, but please, if anyone's concerned, please let me know. You
Police department, yes ma'am, go ahead.
I just want to comment. I want to echo what everyone has said. Kudos to all our departments and so forth. And I don't really think that the question was a negative question. I really think it was curiosity, just asking. It is our tax dollars. And would everyone here have learned what is going on at the ambulance corps had that question not been brought up? So thank you for sharing. Keep up the great work. And, don't take questions as a negative. It could turn into a positive, just like we learned tonight. Thank you.
And you all should come and visit the ambulance building and see what we have.
Again, I go back a little ways with the ambulance. Gene and I have been out on that street in the rain, and we've picked up. Unfortunately, we've picked up bodies. We've put bodies back together on the street, going back into the late '60s, and I'm so proud of all our emergency services and all our employees, but I can't say too much good about them. Barney, you had a question.
The question is on the general items here, number 7 and number 14. Could you just elaborate on each one of those?
Number 7? Barney, you're gonna make me put my glasses on, huh?
Money mortgage is probably
Oh, that has to do with we're taking a mortgage on part of the property that we're selling in Stewart. Actually, it's a very good deal. We're gonna make some extra money on the actual sale. So we need a local law to do that. That's what it is. And what was the other one?
And 14.
I'm sorry, what?
Item 14.
14.
What's the amendment here? I don't recall that amendment.
It was an amendment, Dave, you have it there?
Oh my God, it was done when I wasn't around, back in like.
Yeah, we can't blame Dave for it, but we just, it's part of the zoning chapter 300, I think it was, Dave?
Right.
Yeah, that we needed to correct an error, and Dave can explain.
Yeah, there was, I guess there was a zoning amendment back in January, actually, of this year. And there was just something that had neglected to be done, so that's what this was about. Basically re-adopting the amendment now, having now taken care of the issue and what should have been taken care of before, the negative declaration.
Barney, it wasn't going back to chapter 300, where we went back and we made some changes in the zoning. It was one of those minor changes that we made in the zoning back I forget what, it had to be in the spring. And what happened is that they didn't, we didn't get a negative declaration on it. And we had to put the negative deck in it and then readopt it.
All the work had been done in order to get the neg deck, but it just hadn't been declared.
We
Was it
didn't
a
declare.
boundary change, or?
Was it what?
Was it a boundary change,
No, I don't think it was a boundary change. I think it was just a rezoning of one area.
All right.
I mean, it was, at the time, it was insignificant. That's what the way it got through. It was one of those little nuances we missed in the, when we did the bill. I don't think so. What? It's just declaring secret. Flip the page.
I'll check with the building department.
Yeah, it was something that was very insignificant.
George, just one other thing there. You know what I've noticed a lot, in the Newburgh area, all these panhandlers that are going around,
Yeah.
and they seem to be shifting over to New Windsor a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've noticed there, they drop them off in this van, and they start panhandling on the corners, 5 corners or wherever else. And then later on in the day, the van picks them up.
Mm-hmm.
And is there something, maybe, or
Well,
we just call in?
Let me explain. It's getting to be a civil rights issue. And it's very difficult. We've been talking about it, adopting a local law. Every local law has been adopted. I believe Rob's been challenged on it. And you know what? We may have, what, we got maybe 3 or 4 now?
Less than that.
Less than that. It's an annoyance, I know it's an annoyance, but when you have to defend a 1983 lawsuit for violation of civil rights, I mean, you're talking about at least tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. And I don't know that, I've kind of resisted being pushed into adopting a local law. I don't know that we really want to do that. So,
Excuse me, George, if I may answer Gordon's question.
Yeah,
because I
go
didn't
ahead.
know what Mr. Bedetti, what this is regarding is back in February, we had a public hearing to redesignate 3 properties. We held the public hearing, the EAF was prepared. That's the Environmental Assessment Form. In looking at the EAF, there was a typographical mistake on it where one section block and lot is not correct. That is the reason for this. We're making that correction. Just for the 1 property. But that's all it was. Zone change for 3 properties.
Thank you.
think we ought to keep her around.
Just one more thing and then I'll shut up.
You promised, Gene?
What?
You promised?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think
That's the
so.
only, at my age, the only thing I have is my mouth.
Yeah, let's not be talking about age now.
Oh,
I resemble that remark.
the nuisance wildlife control, how are you going to control them? Is it the birds?
No. That's a motion we adopt every year. Well, by agreement with the DEC, when we closed our landfill, we have to have somebody that keeps the woodchucks from digging through the cap.
Oh, okay.
It's just agreement with the DEC. We do this, it's the same thing every year. It's been the same guy every year. Yeah, Richard Kroll goes out. He needs license to do it, so. Yeah, and he takes it anyway. Or so he tells you. Anyone else? Thank you all for being here. I'll entertain a motion to close the public forum.
Oh, second.
Entertain a motion to close the
Councilman
meeting.
Moreau?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Councilman Moreau?
Yes.
Councilman Riggabon?
Yes.
Councilman Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilman Lerke?
Yes.
Supervisor Green?
Yes, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Oh.
Roll call.
Councilman Moreau?
Yes.
Councilman Riggabon?
Yes.
Councilman Oster?
Yes.
Councilman Lord?
Yes.
Yes.